Everyone, welcome to the Never Stop Wrestling Podcast, and I am so happy to announce that this weekend is going to be the greatest weekend in 2025 for the WWE when it comes to PLE-wise. SummerSlam is upon us. You know I've been raving about it for the last couple of episodes. I am going to SummerSlam. It is in New Jersey. I'm super excited. We have a loaded match card for both Night 1 and Night 2. And just from the looks of it on paper, this looks like a WrestleMania match card with the stipulations, the stars who are aligned between one another, the feuds that we have going into SummerSlam. This SummerSlam is going to be insane. I have said countless times I think this will be the greatest PLE, just the greatest show in general of the entire year for the WWE in SummerSlam. So I'm so happy to finally be able to say when this episode comes out, we are 4 days away from Night 1, Saturday, Night 1 of SummerSlam 2025. It's going to be insane. But obviously, before we dive into the predictions and what might happen, what might transpire after SummerSlam on the Raw after SummerSlam, you know I gotta say, if you're watching, if you're listening, YouTube, Spotify, wherever, and whoever is listening, thank you so much for even tuning in. But if you could drop a like, comment your takes, your predictions down below on Spotify or YouTube, subscribe to the channel, follow on Spotify. I just appreciate anyone who's tuning in. And what am I doing? Let's dive into the predictions that I believe are going to happen at SummerSlam Night 1 starting out. We are starting out with Night 1 Saturday. We have Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, the newly asserted Judgment Day team, with Liv Morgan obviously being injured for the last month and a half, which is crazy to even say that Liv Morgan has been out for that long. And there's definitely something missing within the women's division with Liv Morgan being out. Just such a huge draw to just watching Monday Night Raw or just whatever show that Liv Morgan's on. So, hoping that we get to see Liv Morgan at SummerSlam, even if it's not like she's doing stuff in the ring, just to see her, because this is such a huge moment. SummerSlam 2 nights. If Liv Morgan wasn't injured, I could definitely see Liv Morgan being either in the same situation that Roxanne Perez is in right now, in the tag match between Roxanne and Raquel against Charlotte and Alexa Bliss for the tag titles, or maybe a whole different route with Nikki Bella, because it looked like they were having an angle right before Evolution, and Nikki Bella said, I believe on a podcast, I forget which one exactly, but Nikki Bella said that there was something planned and in store beyond Evolution between Nikki and Liv Morgan. So, just prayers up to Liv Morgan. It would be so awesome to see Liv pop out. Maybe costs Raquel and Roxanne the tag team titles this Saturday at SummerSlam Night 1. And I would love to see Charlotte and Alexa Bliss get their hands on tag team gold. A lot of people in the very beginning, when they first started this weird bond at first between Alexa and Charlotte, a lot of people are saying it's forced, it's not a real tag team. This is what they keep doing within the women's tag team division. They just put random superstars together and they try and make it work. I think Charlotte and Alexa definitely shut up a lot of those haters, and that's what all those people are. They're just haters. They're IWC members. They got beards that are starting up from right at the top of their chest. Just insane how much people hate on stuff, man. It's absolutely insane. I'm one of the people, and I hope I'm one of the many people who believe in this. I got Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair getting their hands on the tag team women's championships, defeating Roxanne and Raquel at SummerSlam. I just love the chemistry between Alexa and Charlotte. I think it's a really nice dynamic. We don't see a lot of tag teams that have a likeness for one another, but also at the same time they don't want to show it. And I love it. It's like big sister, little sister between Charlotte and Alexa. And I think the last time recently that we saw a tag team that was kind of older sibling, younger sibling was like Braun Breaker. This is very weird. It might sound weird, but when I was watching Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin tag teaming in NXT, I kind of got that vibe from that too. They just had great chemistry between one another, and kind of total opposites, but it worked so well. They had great chemistry between one another. I love that dynamic, and I don't think we have a lot of that in the WWE between tag teams or just individual superstars in itself. But I do have Charlotte and Alexa winning the women's tag team championships against Roxanne and Raquel. One, I think it would be huge for the women's division. Not saying that Roxanne and Raquel aren't doing a good job. They are doing a good job. The star power within Alexa and Charlotte is crazy, off the charts. And I think we could maybe even see another star-studded tag team enter the women's tag team division, and we could really get the tag team titles rolling from a conversation that was disbanding the tag titles for the women's, which I was completely against, and a lot of people were so okay with it, which I thought was wild, to get rid of titles for a specific genre of superstars in the company. Like, some people are like, oh, they're cursed, they're this, they're that, like, just complete, like, utter, just childish comments. And I'm like, you can't, that's so disrespectful to tag team women's wrestlers and just wrestling in general, to just take that away. Injuries happen. I mean, it's pro wrestling. What do you expect? Like, anything can happen. So you can't blame injuries on a piece of gold. Just makes no sense. So I'm so glad. I love the angle that the women's tag team division is going. We got the Kabuki Warriors. We got Roxanne. We got Raquel Rodriguez. We can insert Liv Morgan into that mix as well, but I think when Liv comes back, it's not going to look good for the Judgment Day. Let's just say that. Dirty Dom is kind of rolling around. He's kind of getting in muddy waters with, I see a little bit of a nice bond between Roxanne and Dom. I want to see that from a fan perspective, but if I'm Dirty Dom, like, I know my name's Dom too, but I got to watch out for Dom. From one Dom to another, like, I'm looking out for you, Dirty Dom. I'm looking out for you. Because I think Liv Morgan is going to really get you when she comes back. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss in the tag team division. I mean, you have Sol Ruca and Zarya on NXT side of things. I think we're going to see a lot of more women's tag teams forming and just keep this rolling. Like, it's got great momentum right now, and I love the looks of it. The next match that we got, these are just how it's listed online. I'm not going from like opening match to, all the way to the main event. This is just all the matches on night one. Just kind of scrambled around. Gunther against CM Punk, and last night on Monday Night Raw. What a promo by Phil Brooks, man. CM Punk. For those of you, I'm sure you know, Phil Brooks is CM Punk. Wow. I've said this before. If you're new to wrestling and like you turn on Monday Night Raw and you see CM Punk in the ring cutting a promo, not even him wrestling, just him, he's got a mic in his hands, and whether he's feuding with someone and talking about a match that he's about to have in the upcoming weeks, he will talk you into the match. He will it's something about the way he delivers his promos, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. But not everyone's got what CM Punk's got when it comes to telling stories and making you believe what he's saying. A lot of people might sound like they're reading a script, which they do have a script before they go out there. But when CM Punk talks, it sounds very organic. It sounds very natural. It doesn't sound like it's robotic in any way. It seriously sounds like it's Phil Brooks just talking out there to the WWE universe. And I love it. Like, Gunther had his fair share of words. He looked more on top on the previous episode of Monday Night Raw, and he kind of shut down CM Punk. Now, last night, we got the complete opposite. I love that. And it had no physicality to where you can't say, oh, Punk attacked Gunther on the final episode before SummerSlam, so that means that Gunther is going to have the momentum and he's going to win at SummerSlam. We got no physicality, which was perfect. So we don't know how this match is going to end. And I love that a lot of matches on SummerSlam have a lot of unpredictability to a lot of the outcomes that could happen. Yeah, you might be able to say, oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of momentum on this superstar side. But who's going to win this match? You can make the case that Punk can win. And like I said in my previous episode, does Seth Rollins come out? Does he cash in? Was the injury not as bad as they made it to believe? They never even actually addressed it on WWE programming. I believe Triple H was questioned in a press conference after one of the shows. But usually when someone is seriously injured, they address it on either the next show or like Seth Rollins has his faction. They're not even necessarily giving exact details on if it's serious or how long he's actually out for. Definitely clues to where you can make the case that Seth Rollins could potentially show up at SummerSlam, make a Heist of the Century Part 2. Not gonna lie, if you look at it from this point of view, Seth Rollins had the arguably greatest cash-in of all time in Money in the Bank history. He's now the Money in the Bank holder again, which a lot of people were up in the air about. They didn't like it, but guys, from a company standpoint and from a storyline standpoint, I think everyone should be able to understand on why Seth Rollins has the Money in the Bank again. But I feel like Seth Rollins has, since he had the Heist of the Century quite a few years ago, he's kind of set a bar on now when he cashes in for his Part 2. It needs to be on a similar level. And I think this injury mishap that happened on the Saturday night's main event where Seth Rollins was facing LA Knight, yes, I do 100% believe Seth Rollins definitely tweaked his knee and is hurt in some sort of way. Not sure the severity of it, but definitely hurt in some way. But could it be not so severe enough, the injury on his knee, to where he can go out there Saturday night, ruin CM Punk's moment of trying to obtain the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther and cash in? Maybe Rollins makes it a triple threat. All I know is that I believe this match is set to main event. And that definitely gives those ideas flowing. It's a 2-night SummerSlam. You gotta have people leaving the building night one, and anticipating the next night in a frenzy. Like, you need to make buzz. You need to have night one to have that viral moment. I know, like, there are some things that viral moments might not seem, like Karrion Kross said, like Joe Hendry, they only had Joe Hendry on WrestleMania for a viral moment. This would be a different viral moment. It wouldn't interfere, I feel like, with anyone's spot on the card or anything. It could prolong the feud between Punk and Rollins. I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't mind diving back into Punk and Rollins. I just love the work that those two put together because it's so authentic. I still have Gunther being our World Heavyweight Champion. But if this match main events, I don't know. I think we could see Punk win. Beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Punk is celebrating, and then Rollins burn it down? Or no? Or does Punk lose in a triple threat? Does Rollins come out and make it a triple threat match? There's so many ways that you could go about this match, and that's what I love about this match. This match 100% should main event, actually. I was up in the air between this match or the tag team match with Roman J against Braun and Braun, but I'm not going to lie. With the way you can... a huge moment if CM Punk beat Gunther, winning his first championship in the WWE in over a decade, or CM Punk wins, gets cashed in on from his arch nemesis Seth Rollins, who absolutely hates CM Punk, and Seth Rollins just appearing and cashing in would be a shocker to the entire wrestling universe as a whole. And then you have him ruin CM Punk's moment. That would be such an insane moment. Or do you just have Gunther retain? Do you have Gunther win clean? There's so many ways that you could go about it, and that's why I think this match has so much upside on the possibilities that could happen at the end of the match. And it's definitely one of the most highly anticipated matches of the entire SummerSlam card for night 1 and night 2. I believe I have to go with my gut here. Rollins is going to make it a triple threat match at the very end. Seth Rollins is winning back the World Heavyweight Championship, and Punk won't even get to win. I think that's what's going to happen, almost recreating the heist of the century. I would not be mad about a little bit of a copy and paste of how Seth Rollins does it, because him just showing up would be such a shocker. And I'm not trying to just put all the spotlight on Seth Rollins appearing. If he doesn't appear, that's still cool. I'm still interested in CM Punk against Gunther. Just in the matter of 2 weeks, the fact that Gunther and CM Punk have made this like a valuable feud to actually look forward to and potentially main event night 1 of SummerSlam, that's crazy to say in itself. So they've done a fantastic job, and even if Seth Rollins doesn't show up at all, still completely cool with everything. I think this match is going to be fantastic regardless. And next, we got 3 tag matches on night 1. We have Randy and Jelly Roll against Logan Paul and The Unknown. Drew McIntyre is stuck. I forget where exactly it was. Was he in Scotland? I forget where. England? I don't know. But he's stuck out of the country right now. Still, as I record this video. As I record this episode. We don't know if we're actually going to get this match, or if we do, who's going to replace Drew McIntyre. If I'm just going based off who's going to win this match, I feel like it's very simple. It's got to be Randy and Jelly Roll. Who could replace Drew McIntyre if they had to? If Drew McIntyre doesn't make it back in the States in time? The Miz did post a nice little promo on Instagram, and we do got the Miz back. That would be pretty cool to see. Miz and Randy, they got some, history amongst one another. The Miz and Logan Paul do as well. The Miz brought Logan Paul into the WWE and was his first tag team partner. Helped him learn the ropes. Probably trained him behind the scenes as well. Would not mind seeing the Miz just on the SummerSlam card. That would be so awesome. But yeah, if I gotta pick a winner, I gotta go with Randy and Jelly Roll. I think Jelly Roll might actually get the pin on Logan Paul. I feel like that would be pretty funny. Jelly Roll's going over. And shout out to Jelly Roll, because he definitely is taking this seriously. And it's nice to see, because our last celebrity appearance, which was Travis Scott, was a complete dumpster fire. And I'm so glad that it's officially over 100% with Travis Scott, because my goodness, just ever since he showed up, there was never a positive with Travis Scott's introduction into being on WWE programming. So I'm just glad that we can officially say that the company officially stated, or at least reports came out, that they are done working with Travis Scott. He had these weird ideas of what he wanted to do, and also he wasn't that serious, but he sounded serious on taking the business serious. So I'm so glad that they're done with Travis Scott, but we need to appreciate celebrities that come into the business, like a Logan Paul and a Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, sure, after this SummerSlam match, he's not really going to do too much afterwards with the WWE, but I could definitely see Jelly Roll being a nice collaborator for the future whenever they're in the Cleveland area, or whenever they want a celebrity to help promote whatever PLE or whatever show that they're doing. I can see Jelly Roll being a go-to person to call on because he has so much love and appreciation for the business. So I do got to go, like I was saying before, I do got to go with Randy and Jelly Roll winning this tag team match, even if Drew McIntyre is there. If Drew McIntyre can't make it, I think The Miz replaces Drew McIntyre's spot. Makes the most sense when it comes to history with everyone in the match. Jelly Roll's from Cleveland, Miz is from Cleveland, Logan Paul's from Cleveland. Miz has history with Randy Orton. He beat him for his first ever WWE Championship reign. The Miz brought Logan Paul into the company. I mean, it just makes sense all around. Not saying that has to be the reason of why The Miz should be in there, but if they had there's only 4 days left. If you had to scratch something up, I think The Miz is a great option to replace Drew McIntyre if you needed to. The next match, we have the next tag match on the card, which is the final one, the final tag match on the card, which I personally thought this could main event, especially with seeing how this past Monday Night Raw just ended. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso against Braun and Bronson, with obviously the Oracle, Paul Heyman, by Braun and Bronson's side. With the way this past Monday Night Raw ended, I gotta go with Roman and Jey. I don't see any way Roman and Jey lose with the way they got brutally massacred on this past Monday Night Raw. And Bronson Reed taking Roman Reigns' J's off his feet? And then Braun Breaker just absolutely destroying Roman Reigns and Jey Uso? I gotta give WWE credit because I'm starting to lose faith in this faction with Seth Rollins being out. They're showing that they're a threat. And it's okay for heels to lose matches like this match that's going to be happening on night 1 on Saturday. They asserted their dominance. They made it known that they are the big dogs and they're coming to take over the company. They did a great job of showing that on this previous episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, like I said before, where whoever gets that final shot on the show before the big PLE, usually the person who gets knocked down the show prior usually wins on the big match that is literally in the same week. That's why I gotta go with Roman and Jey. Otherwise, I personally thought Braun and Bronson were going to win this match, strictly going off of before seeing how much they dominated Roman and Jey. If last night didn't happen the way it happened, to where Braun and Bronson took over and destroyed Roman and Jey, then I would have to go with Braun and Bronson. Because one, they would need a win because they've showed no credibility of being monster heels in the Raw division and just in the division for the entire company. Last night, they showed that they can be dominant without getting a win. And great move by WWE. I got to give them credit for that because me personally, I'm starting to lose faith in what they can actually do with Braun and Bronson while Seth Rollins is out. Whether Seth Rollins is out for a long period of time or he returns at SummerSlam. Either way, Braun and Bronson, in my eyes, can now afford to take a loss at SummerSlam to Roman and Jey. And also another point to make it addressed, it's Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, two of some of the biggest stars. I think Roman Reigns is the biggest star in the company right now when it comes to reaction and marketing value. When he's announced on a show, sold out immediately. It's absolutely insane. And just when it comes to pop and just popularity as a whole and reaction, Jey and Roman, some of the biggest stars in the entire world when it comes to the industry. Taking a loss to Jey and Roman, it doesn't lose credibility to Braun and Bronson. It would only lose credibility to them if they didn't look so dominant on this past Monday Night Raw. If they didn't do what they did last night by spearing both Roman and Jey, tsunamiing them, taking the Jordans off Roman's feet, just trying to humiliate and embarrass them as much as they possibly could, then I would say, whoa, they need to beat Roman and Jey, otherwise stuff is going to look really bad for the faction that is trying to make a name for themselves, literally, because they don't have a name for themselves. That's why I'm just calling them Braun and Bronson. But I love what they did last night, though. They can afford to take a loss against Roman and Jay now, and they can make a huge impact on the Monday Night Raw right after SummerSlam, and maybe even taking out Jey Uso by how furious they are for losing at SummerSlam. Great move by the company. Gotta give them credit to that, because me personally as a fan, I'm starting to lose faith in the faction with Braun, Bronson, and Seth Rollins, but they definitely pivoted very, very well. And we got the second to last match on the card for SummerSlam, Saturday Night 1. Tiffany Stratton against Jade Cargill. If I'm being honest here, I wish this match had a lot more buzz around it. I feel like they haven't really gave it the credibility and enough screen time that it deserves. One, because Tiffany Stratton, besides John Cena, is the greatest champion currently in the company. The fact that she and Jade Cargill won an entire tournament just to face Tiffany Stratton. So we're not really seeing a grittiness towards Tiffany Stratton when it comes to Jade Cargill's character. And also, we're not seeing Tiffany Stratton make a case that she's this dominant champion. I mean, I just don't see the big X factor in this match. And I don't want to say that. I'm just seeing it. I'm just saying it how I see it and how they've been presenting it for the last couple of weeks, because they've had an entire month to just get more of interactions between Jade and Tiffany. Like, yeah, they had the one right before Evolution, but Trish Stratus was in there, and they made Jade Cargill look irrelevant, like just on the sideline in the middle of the ring with Tiffany and Trish. And then what they had, like the announcement, if they even had that, I genuinely am forgetting if they had anything but more than 2 segments between one another building up to this match, this big match for the Women's Championship at SummerSlam Night 1, which is a huge opportunity for both Jade Cargill to win her first ever singles title, and Tiffany Stratton, as she's the longest reigning champion in the entire company. So I don't like how they built this so far. And I'm saying so far, but they only have one more episode of SmackDown prior to this match, and you can't fix all this just in one episode. I think at the end of the day, WWE did not do a great job building Tiffany Stratton against Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. Definitely disappointed because Tiffany is such a big draw right now in the women's division, and a lot of people are obviously behind Jade Cargill too, and this is a big deal for Jade too. We're not seeing, like, we saw her last week on SmackDown still getting involved with Naomi. Like, that's done. Naomi cashed in not on Tiffany Stratton. If Naomi cashed in on Tiffany and Naomi is the women's champion, then I could see Jade still wanting to get at Naomi. That would make more sense. I don't know. I definitely wish they put a little bit more secret sauce on this feud, if that makes any sense. I just feel like it could have been a lot more. And is that because we're not really too sure what characters Jade and Tiffany are? Like, is Jade the heel? Or is Tiffany the heel? Or are they both baby faces? I was genuinely asking that last week on Friday Night SmackDown. I was like, between Tiffany and Jade, is it face versus face? Or is it heel versus face? Or is it heel versus heel? Because sometimes when Tiffany speaks, it comes across that she is a heel. And sometimes when Jade speaks, or the reactions that Jade might get, it might seem that Jade's a heel. Or it might seem that Tiffany's a babyface because when she shows up, the entire arena goes crazy. And same thing goes to Jade Cargill as well. So, I don't know. I feel like they didn't establish what we're about to witness within this match between these two women. And I think it's still going to be a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more of a storyline lover when it comes to watching wrestling. When it comes to that point of view, disappointed in how they've done it and how they presented this match heading into SummerSlam. But do I think the match is going to be good? Yes. And let me go with my winner. I'm going to go with Jade Cargill. I think now is the time for Jade. But it's weird. It's like, it's her. I think it's her time, but they haven't really made it known on the episode to SmackDown that, oh, Jade's got that momentum. We're giving her that push right away. Like, it seems like they want to push Jade, but at the same time, they're kind of like, I don't know. SmackDown is definitely a show where if you're on there, especially right now because you have Cody, you have Randy, you have John, and you have several other big names on there as well. And now that it's only 2 hours, too. And when it was 3 hours, like, they had too much time. Now that it's 2 hours, I feel like they're not getting enough time. Like, you have someone like Julia, our United States Women's Champion, who doesn't get even screen time some episodes to even showcase that she's our United States Women's Champion. Or even, like, the tag team scene sometimes with SmackDown. It was really hot at one point. Then, after WrestleMania, we went into a little part where Street Profits weren't on the show. They weren't defending the titles. I don't know. SmackDown is definitely the brand where if you want to get pushed and you want to get utilized in storylines, if you're not a main eventer, it's definitely tough. I feel like Monday Night Raw is a way better show where they utilize, look at the women's IC title scene. Becky, Lyra, and Bayley. They're doing a phenomenal job. Look at Dirty Dom and AJ Styles. They're doing a great job with that. Look at Naomi now with Rhea and Io. Look at Gunther with CM Punk. I don't know. It could just be a personal preference, but I love the way Monday Night Raw delivers storylines compared to Friday Night SmackDown. I don't know. It might just be me. But I still got Jade Cargill winning this match and becoming our new Women's World Champion. I said that on quite a few episodes ago when she won the King and Queen of the Ring. And I actually said it before she even won the Queen of the Ring. I said, look, this is how it's going to happen. At first I thought Naomi was going to cash in on Jade Cargill or during the match between Jade and Tiffany. I was wrong about that, but I still got Jade beating Tiffany and becoming our new women's champion. And the last match that I need to discuss on this card is Sammy against Karrion Kross. This is one of the more highly anticipated matches as well on the entire SummerSlam card because it has high stakes to it. If you saw on the previous episode of Monday Night Raw, Karrion Kross made it known, Sammy, if Karrion Kross wins this match, Sami Zayn has to say, Kross, you were right. But I'm not done there. I need to address what Karrion said right after, which is actually concerning. Especially with the reports that his contract is up at the end of August. Which, with the way everything's been looking, that shouldn't be a concern. But the reason why it is a concern is because they haven't even met, I believe, to even discuss a negotiation on a extended contract. At least from what the reports say right now. And we're heading into, not WrestleMania, SummerSlam. It feels like WrestleMania, but it's SummerSlam. We're heading into SummerSlam, and what Karrion Kross said right after he said last night to Sami Zayn, where he said, if I win, you have to say Kross was right, or Kross told the truth. What he said after was, and then I'll go away, and you can become a world champion. Right when he said that, I immediately thought, I'm like, they're going to write off Karrion Kross this way. They're going to write him off on a good note. If you're listening and not watching, like the actual video footage of me recording, I have the quotations, like in a sarcastic way. A good way to write off Karrion Kross into the sunset and get released or not get a contract renewed. I don't want to dive too much into that topic because that's just me coming up with that idea, but I saw a lot of other people saying the same exact thing because when he said that, that really hit. Because it would actually make sense in a way, them writing him off like that. Not that I want that to happen, but I don't know. I feel like we've seen stuff in the past kind of work that way where they write off people. I don't know. I like don't even want to dive into it too much because it would be such a shame if they don't renew Kross's contract, especially with him he's appearing now on 2 straight premium live events. When was the last time this happened for Karrion Kross? It's gotta be insane. This is insane for Karrion, and I'm so happy for him, dude. So happy for him. I was one of the people that also posted We Want Kross, making videos, commenting on WWE's Instagram page and everything like that. If we see him get his flowers by beating Sammy, and then he just gets released or not renewed, I would want him to lose just if that meant that he gets a contract renewed. There's no way that they don't re-sign him, bro. There's no way. He's been on top of the merch sales for the last month and a half, 2 months. That would be, I would not understand that whatsoever. Unless they're trying to pull another angle like they did with R-Truth, even though I don't believe that was a work. I think they genuinely wanted to release R-Truth, but we were so vocal that they couldn't let that happen. Unless they're trying to go with that route again with Karrion Kross and have him when he comes back, he's got even more of a buzz around him. I don't think so, though. I don't know, man. Let me talk about the match, though. I don't want to dive too much into that because that's just me just saying that. That is no official report or anything. That's just me going on, and that's my theory on what Karrion Kross said and how he said it. That's in what's going on within his contract and everything. A lot of things align together, but we're going to step away from that topic. We're going to talk about the match in itself. I have Karrion Kross winning this match. I wish it was an I Quit match and someone doesn't have to win and then they have to say, oh, Kross told the truth, or if Sammy wins, Kross needs to say that he was lying. I wish it was just an I Quit or whoever confesses first match, or however you want to word it on a match card. That would be really cool, where Kross, to win the match, he's literally just yelling in Sammy's face, saying, "Say it, Sammy, say it!" And then Sami Zayn confesses, and then that's when the bell rings. That would have been freaking awesome, I'm not going to lie. But I love this angle, too. I got Karrion Kross. This could have been a stipulation match, or the I Quit idea that I was just talking about. I'm not mad. I'm just glad. Honestly, I'm just so glad to see Karrion Kross and Sammy. This is one of the very few feuds that have been going on for a month and a half, 2 months in the WWE. We've been seeing a lot more short-term storylines because we've been having so many events, one after the other, and the company isn't able to form these long-term stories. They're having these one-off feuds, and me personally, I don't like that. It's cool that we're having Saturday night's main event, and then we're having Evolution, and then we're having this, and then we're having that. But when you have them all jammed together, one, it doesn't make it feel so special when you do see, oh, SummerSlam is this weekend. Oh, but 2 weeks ago we had Evolution, and then the week before that we had Saturday night's main event, and then we had Great American Bash. There's been so much recently. Not sure if it's them just wanting to push out as much big shows as they possibly can for the summer, but I'm just happy to see that we have a few matches on SummerSlam that are just like Sammy against Kross. What's another match? The women's IC title scene as well. Becky against Lyra. You can include Cody and Cena into that too. But I like that we have a few long-term building storylines on SummerSlam. And I got Karrion Kross winning this match. I just hope this isn't the send-off for Karrion Kross, like them giving him his flowers and then having him ride out into the sunset. No, I think Kross's dynamic character could be so utilized in the WWE, very different. Not a lot of people are like him. Same thing with Scarlett too. Just a really cool on-screen showcase when they're both on TV. I could just be saying that because I'm a huge fan of the both of them, but I think that's also just me being real as a wrestling fan too. We don't have a lot of characters that are like Kross and Scarlett. That mysterious, like, I'm gonna get under your skin and I want you to reveal your true self. I love that, dude. It's like a Kross could be in a movie. And shout out to Kross because he actually makes movies. He's a filmmaker as well. Yeah, I got Karrion Kross. I do. And I hope this isn't the last time we see Kross in the WWE for the foreseeable future. Now we got Sunday. We got night 2. This night 2 is loaded with title defenses. We're going to talk about the first match. Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And I can't believe I'm going to be meeting Dirty Dom with my brother and my friend. We're meeting a ton of superstars this weekend and starting Friday as well. We're going to be at Friday Night SmackDown. We're going to be at Night 1. We're going to be at Night 2. And we might even be on the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. But Dirty Dom, I'm so excited to meet. From one Dom to another. Can't wait to meet you, Dirty Dom. But Dirty Dom against AJ Styles. I said this in my last episode. This match might honestly shock a lot of people from an in-ring perspective. And with the work that AJ Styles has been doing, how he's been like a comedic relief. And the last time we really had that was R-Truth. And now that we're seeing R-Truth in a more serious role, which I like, because in the WWE looks of things, when it comes to R-Truth and his tenure in the company, in the WWE specifically, we haven't seen a serious R-Truth, really, ever since, like, when he first was feuding with John Cena and he was teaming up with The Miz, like, in that kind of era. So it's very nice to see someone else kind of take that role. And maybe this is just for the Dom feud because it's, like, older generation against younger generation. AJ Styles is the older generation, and then Dirty Dom is the younger generation, and they're kind of having this fun little storyline in that aspect of things. I would love to see AJ Styles be like this for the future too. I love this. It shows a lot of authenticity with AJ, and when you have someone like Dom who's not afraid to be himself and to make light of his character, you gotta love it. Great chemistry between Dom and AJ building up into this match. It's been a really fun feud that's been right around a month long. I do have... this is tough. I might actually have to think about this for a second. I might have... Dom, you know what? I think I got AJ Styles. I think I have... No. I got Dom. I don't think Liv would screw over Dom first if she returned. I think she would screw over Raquel Rodriguez because Roxanne took Liv's spot and Raquel was so cool with it. Then I think Dom will, down the line, get, karma back to him from Liv Morgan. I think Dom retains. I don't think that hurts anyone. I don't think if anyone loses, whoever loses, it doesn't hurt them. Which is really cool to just have like a fun match. And if AJ wins, that's great. It's his final contract year. He's most likely retiring after this year. I wouldn't mind AJ having a nice IC title run. Or I wouldn't mind Dom still holding the title. And maybe he loses it to Finn Balor when, to what I believe, Finn Balor wants to almost remodel the Judgment Day. Maybe kick Dom out and just have Finn, JD, and Roxanne in the group? I don't know. Finn's got something going on, and I think Finn is the end-all, be-all when it comes to our next Intercontinental Champion. That's just my opinion now. But I do have Dominic Mysterio beating AJ Styles. Maybe Roxanne Perez helps him out. This is night 2, so maybe we see Roxanne come out Maybe they have a flirtatious moment. Maybe they get a little bit close to each other. Maybe Liv Morgan comes out and she gets a massive pop, stopping Dominic Mysterio from, getting a little dirty with Roxanne. I don't know. That would be crazy, though. That pop would go absolutely wild, hearing Liv Morgan's music, interrupting Dom and Roxanne maybe about to kiss or do something, the revolving around the lines of a Dirty Dominic move, because that man is filthy. Next, which I'm so excited for, Solo Sikoa against Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Like I said, this night is loaded with title defenses, and I like how they kind of have night one. There's two title defenses on there, and there's tag team matches on there too, and then we got night two, and it's just straight championship. It's straight, just big time matches, either stipulation wise or storyline wise. I love it. And Solo and Jacob has been a great storyline and feud heading into SummerSlam. It's been going on for a little over a month, I believe, and in a steel cage match, dude, this is gonna go crazy, especially in person. I've never seen a cage match in person. This is about to be insane, dude. I'm very excited for this. I have Solo winning, and you know why? Yeah, he's got he's got Tala, Tonga, and JC who can help him out. I don't think that's the only reason why he's gonna win. The main reason, and this is crediting Jacob Fatu, I think Solo will win because Jacob is going to head for the big title, I believe. And I know that's probably weird, but it'll make a little bit more sense when I get to the John Cena and Cody Rhodes match. But I think Jacob Fatu is going to be moving on into the main event scene. Not saying that he's too good for the United States Championship. I'm just saying, give Solo his time with this title. It's his first ever singles title. And he's coming into his own as well, and I feel like him holding the title would give him a little bit more of a prestige as a character and as a leader of the faction. I got Solo Sikoa winning. I think, obviously, the Bloodline 2.0 helps him out, but I think the main reason why I got Solo winning is because I see a huge future for Jacob Fatu going after the big gold and heading into the main event scene right after SummerSlam. Next match is, I'm not going to lie, one of my most highly anticipated matches on this entire PLE, not pay-per-view. Been watching some older shows recently, getting the terminology wrong. I'm calling stuff pay-per-views, I'm calling stuff PLEs. It's PLE in 2025. But Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship in a no DQ. It's not a false count anywhere, but it's a no DQ, no count out. So basically like a false count anywhere. I think that's planting the seed for Bayley to get into this match. But who would Bayley go after? I feel like that's a whole nother topic. But you know what? Let me address this though, because after this episode is recorded, I'm not going to be speaking on anything until after SummerSlam. So let me make my prediction that, look back and see if I'm correct. I think Bayley's definitely going to get involved. I genuinely thought that she was going to try and enforce herself to make it into a triple threat match on this previous Monday Night Raw. But I believe she will get involved in this match, ruin it for Becky, just so Lyra... I know Bayley is, from at least my perspective, in my point of view, I think she's trying to get the ultimate revenge on Lyra. I think Bayley will cost Becky the Intercontinental Women's Championship just so Bayley can beat Lyra for the title and not have Bayley have a match in the future against Becky and win it off Becky. I think that's how it's going to go down. Becky will lose it. And also because if Lyra loses, she's not allowed to go after the title unless someone else gets the title. And yeah, you can make the case, oh, Bayley would cost Lyra, Bayley gets her match against Becky, Bayley wins it off Becky, Lyra and Bayley have a feud. I think it would be nice to see Lyra with the title again because Lyra's coming into her own. Lyra's genuinely one of the most awesome, like really, really exciting, talented young stars in the company that has been homegrown too. Because you can go back a year ago when she was drafted to the main roster, they didn't use her for the first couple of months. People were questioning why. Then when she was on TV, a lot of people weren't buying into her act. You know, they were calling her Bird Lady, this and that. Yeah, I think some of it was like joking around, having fun with the whole gimmick with the wings and everything. But I don't think people took Lyra seriously. So it's very nice now, one, to see the reaction that she gets when her music hits and the whole woo thing during her entrance. It's very nice to see, and her promos have been improving week after week, and we have to give credit to not only the WWE, not only to Lyra Valkyria, but also to the talented future Hall of Famers in Becky Lynch and Bayley. I believe they, from a personal level, even outside of the character realm of the on-screen personas, I think behind the scenes, Becky and Bayley definitely forced Lyra to step up her game. And it's something I feel like we wanted to see between Charlotte and Tiffany, but that got into like a personal mess with Tiffany calling out Charlotte and, bringing up personal stuff. So it's very nice to see Lyra naturally and just week after week improving, and you see it, whether it's promos, whether it's in ring, whether it's just her connection and engagement with the audience. Lyra is definitely one of my most favorite stars, upcoming stars in the company, because you just see the progress and you see the hard work week after week. Every time she's going out there speaking or having a match. It's just very, very awesome to see. And that's why I got Lyra winning this. I would love to see her have the championship again and just have another credible feud against Bayley now. But in like a 3 rounds feud, like how she is having with Becky. This is like their third match between one another. I think Lyra and Bayley should have 3 matches amongst one another, and then you can add someone else into the mid-card title scene. Maybe a Stephanie Vaquer, or maybe an Io Sky. Io Sky against Lyra in a match for the women's IC title? I would not mind that at all. That would be a phenomenal match. But the title has so much prestige now. You can really insert main event stars like Becky and Bayley. And when Lyra, gets to the point where she exceeds the mid-card title scene, we could see her go after the Women's World Championship. And I think I would not be surprised if we see her hit that Women's World Championship in the next 4 to 6 months. Even if it's just a one-off and then she heads back down to the Women's IC title scene, would not be surprised if we see Lyra getting a World Championship match within the next 4 to 6 months. From the way everything is looking, that's how it's looking for Lyra. I'm just a ton of progress, and her dedication to getting better as a character and just in all aspects of the ring. This has been an entire praising Lyra segment. I love it. But it's just very nice. It's very nice to see a young talent. And I want to see this with Carmelo Hayes too. He just doesn't get the screen time but I feel like the screen time that he does get, he makes the most out of it. But it's nice to see that the other NXT call-up in the same exact draft is having a phenomenal run right now. And it's just really awesome to see. Now we got to talk about honestly, when this match got announced, I thought it could main event night 1. I don't believe it's going to, just because of the posters that I've been seeing. Punk and Gunther have been showcasing on the entire night 1 match card, which is totally fine. But this other match that I'm going to talk about right now Naomi against Rhea Ripley against Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. This match is going to be insane. I believe you could have this co-main event and give Cody and Cena, like, they really got to step up their game because this match is going to be phenomenal. I think this match could be one of the best matches of the entire card. Easy. Give this match a half hour. Dude, I'm being dead serious because Night 2 has less matches than Night 1. And yeah, I say give this friggin' a half hour. I would love to see this. This is going to be a 5-star classic. We saw what Rhea Ripley and Io Sky can do in the ring between one another. Now we got Naomi as our Women's World Champion, who has been a phenomenal heel and just a character worker. And now we have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They have the mutual respect amongst one another. But, Io is not letting Rhea forget that in one-on-one competition, Io Sky is undefeated against Rhea Ripley. And I love that they bring that up. It makes it, it makes feuds and, any type of rivalry have a little bit more of a stirring in the pan. I don't know what kind of analogy I was trying to make there, but it makes having that inserted into a rivalry, stirs things up a little bit because obviously Rhea and Io, they have mutual respect, but Io's not letting Rhea forget, hey, when we do go one-on-one again, like, remember, you've never beaten me. And it's a nice friendly banter, but I like that because I feel like in wrestling, in pro wrestling, you don't really talk about, oh, I went 20-0 in 3 months, between January to friggin' April. Like, they don't talk about records and how many wins they have and how many losses they have, really. So it's cool that they mention that when it comes to Rhea and Io. And not to mention that they're two of one of the most popular superstars in the entire company, not just the women's division in general. So this match is going to be phenomenal. Who do I got to win? Who do I got to win this match? I'm just going to sip this Diet Pepsi really quick. Yeah, that Diet Pepsi was good. All right. Naomi, Rhea, and Io. Do we see Rhea and Io go at it and Naomi takes advantage? Because this is Naomi's first title defense. I originally said Rhea's getting that title back. Strictly because of how over Rhea is. And it actually has been a little while since Rhea has held the title. I know she's been inserted into several of the Women's World Championship matches, but she hasn't won it in a while. Io just lost it, so I think that's the only reason why I don't have Io winning the championship back. It's got to be between Naomi and Rhea. A lot of people, yeah, you can easily make the case like, dude, I wouldn't want Naomi losing. I don't know. This is really tough, man. This is really, really tough. I'm going to go with Rhea. I got to go with Rhea. They've inserted her so many times into the title scene, and she's lost in the last quite a few, to where she's not losing credibility at all. I just think you can have her win it back. This is so tough. You know what? No, I'm putting my personal, fanfare aside. I got Naomi winning. I don't see it making sense if Rhea wins, actually. I'm thinking about it as I'm speaking, and I just don't see, because then if Rhea beat Naomi, then Naomi gets her rematch back, and then, like, does Io make a claim that, like, she didn't lose in a one-on-one? I don't know. Like, that would be so confusing. I think the only way that this makes sense is if maybe you have Naomi win and Io costs Rhea, or Rhea costs Io, and then Rhea and Io go one-on-one against each other at, like, Clash at Paris or something like that. Just in a normal one-on-one match, and then Rhea could get her first win against Io. You know what? I'm going to go that route. I got Naomi winning, and then I have Rhea or Io costing each other to have Naomi pin one of them, and then that leads to a Rhea and Io one-on-one match rematch No title involved. Just so Rhea can get her one win against Io. I don't think that's bad booking. You know what? I feel like that's pretty fair. And I want Naomi to have a good title reign because she's doing a phenomenal job as a character right now. Definitely the best heel in the women's division and one of the best heels in the entire company. So I don't want to see this end so soon. Not saying that she needs the title, but she hasn't had the title in a while and she's made it known that she's not going to be wrestling for too much longer. So this could be her last main title run. So I say let Naomi have it until there's a really big, highly invested feud between Naomi as a champion and then against maybe Bianca or Jade, or in a triple threat match between Bianca and Jade and Naomi for the Women's World Championship. I would love that. If you're going to have Naomi lose, have it be in a meaningful, well-built up feud. I don't think this match is so much a really well built up, only because it got announced 2 weeks ago, and you can't rush stuff. You can't rush perfection in storylines. Obviously, perfection is never reality. Like, you can't always be perfect all the time, but there wasn't enough time to really get people so much invested in the story. Obviously, everyone is invested in the stars in this match, and, you know, who's going to win the world championship, and that's so much fun to watch. From a story point of view, I don't think Naomi should lose in this type of built-up of a story. I think Naomi should lose in a really big-time feud between, like, Bianca, because I feel like Bianca might want that title, you know? I feel like Bianca might want to get her revenge on Naomi for what she did to Jade Cargill, and then maybe Jade Cargill steps in. I don't know. You can go so many different ways about it, but I do have to go with Naomi winning this. I do have to go with Naomi. And I gotta talk about the final match. John Cena against Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. Oh, and may I add, it's a street fight. This match is going to be absolutely insane. If I'm being honest here, at least from when I hear that this match is a street fight and not just a normal match, I think even if it wasn't a street fight, it would still be overbooked. I think this match is going to be overbooked like crazy, bro. I think this could be overbooked similar to how Roman and Cody was. And it's kind of weird because as much as I think that, and I think that's how the match is going to go about, there's really no way that it can be overbooked. They announced that they're pretty much done with Travis Scott. They announced that, or at least reports have been released that The Rock is really busy. The Rock is most likely not showing up at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins is most likely going to get involved with the Punk and Gunther storyline. How is this match going to go about? How is this match going to end? Does Cena turn babyface? Do we see Cody Rhodes absolutely destroy John Cena? Maybe John Cena wanting to end the match and then Cody Rhodes declines and he just keeps absurding brutality against John Cena. I don't know. Like, I think this could be very overbooked, but at the same time, I have no way it could at the same time. I don't know who could get involved that it makes sense for it to get involved, because everyone is involved in something, or the other people that, like The Rock or Travis Scott, not that I don't want to see Travis Scott, but they obviously have affiliation in the storyline between Cody and The Rock, but they're not most likely going to be there. The only other case that you might be able to make is that maybe Seth Rollins doesn't get involved with Gunther and Punk, but Seth Rollins gets involved with Cody and Cena. Because he did tease that a few weeks ago with Cena and CM Punk. So definitely a lot of things up in the air. But with John Cena not appearing on the Monday Night Raw right after SummerSlam, I gotta go with Cody Rhodes winning the championship. And this could be a iconic ending to this match. Because I think if Cody wins, he's not a babyface. I feel like Cody wins by almost surrendering being this good guy, this, you know, babyface flesh, just super nice guy. I feel like he's going to have to definitely turn over to a dark state of mind to really put an end to John Cena. And I know John Cena, he's announced for the Friday Night SmackDown after SummerSlam, but I feel like if Cena won at SummerSlam, he would be on the show right after. It's literally in Brooklyn. It's 30 minutes away from MetLife Stadium or 45 minutes away. So why would Cena have an entire show off after defeating Cody for a second time in a row? With the dates announced for Cena, it almost makes us predict what can happen a lot easier. But as much as I'm saying like, oh, I think this is going to happen, I think, Cody's going to win and Cena is going to become a babyface, or, every way that I'm talking about how I think it's going to end up because of the dates, I don't know how this match can get to the conclusion at all. Like, yeah, it's a street fight. It's a John Cena match, though. Every single John Cena match that he's had in this farewell tour has been overbooked. People are getting involved. I mean, you even had Penta doing his slow, Zero Miro walk in the match against CM Punk and John Cena for the WWE Championship, which was CM Punk's final match against John Cena. This is a street fight. People are going to get involved. At least I would think so, because otherwise, it's definitely better than a normal one-on-one match, but I don't know. I'm just so set on, there's no way that they're switching up the scheme of things with John Cena's matches and not having a street fight end up in an overbooked mess. That's just me, though. But I do have Cody Rhodes winning strictly because of the dates of John Cena. Now, obviously, Cena and Cody, they're going to be on this upcoming Friday Night SmackDown, and maybe something could happen to where I'm completely wrong with my predictions and everything foils of what I'm saying right now. But from the way I'm looking at it right now, with all the information and all the stuff that I've seen leading up to the match on this Tuesday afternoon, on which I'm recording this, I got Cody Rhodes beating John Cena, because Cody Rhodes winning twice in a row, he didn't even do that with Roman Reigns, dude. I don't think he's losing twice in a row to John Cena and then Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes doesn't get the WWE Championship until John Cena retires? Dude, as the face of the company, that just doesn't add up, man. Like, looking at it from a company standpoint, that just doesn't really make any sense. I don't know. That's why I'm so set on Cody winning the title. Cena can get his round 3 in against Cody, or does Cody turn heel? Do we see a completely whole narrative? Do we see John Cena form a babyface alliance at this upcoming Survivor Series or something like that? I don't know, because leading up to Survivor Series, Cena only has 4 dates in between Survivor Series. So, if he lost, he shows up on this upcoming Friday Night SmackDown, then I think he has 3 more shows, and then we're at Survivor. I don't know. I think I'm going off the rails a little bit here, but basically, at the end of the day, if I just had to pick a winner for this match and not go crazy with trying to analyze of what's going to happen, what's going to happen at the end of the match, what's going to happen 2 weeks after the match, I just got Cody Rhodes. I think we see a revolutionary moment as well. I'm very set on Cody creating this heel persona, even if it's nothing major, but definitely a huge character shift to where John Cena, if John Cena loses, Cena looks like a babyface and not a heel that just lost the title. That's just my opinion, though. But wow. An hour and 9 minutes of me rambling on predictions of this upcoming SummerSlam match cards. Night 1, Night 2, complete. wow, I'm so excited for this weekend that is coming up in New Jersey. Going to be meeting a ton of WWE superstars. Going to just be having a blast. Gonna be at Friday Night SmackDown. Gonna be at Night 1, Night 2, and also maybe even Monday Night Raw right after. I think we're going to see this truly be, even just strictly looking at the match card, but I think we're going to see moments that happen at SummerSlam that are going to make it the best PLE of the entire year and one of the most revolutionary PLEs in the recent years as well. That might be a hot take, but that's just where I'm at with how much I feel like this SummerSlam means to the company, because it's the first ever two-nighter. You don't want to have just a very bland, you know, yeah, like the matches are going to be great, but you need to have a moment. You need to have a moment that people are like, dude, remember the first ever two-night SummerSlam? Like, that's where everything shifted. That's where, Rollins worked us all and he came back from injury, or, oh, that's where Cena became a babyface on his farewell tour after Cody Rhodes became a heel. Like, I don't know. I think something like that is going to happen at SummerSlam. And I think it needs to, for a company standpoint, because it is the first ever two-nighter. How do you want people to get more invested into spending so much money for next year's two-night SummerSlam, and then the year after, and the year after, and the year after? Like, this is a huge deal. It was only set to be for WrestleMania. Now they're bringing it into SummerSlam. So, I don't know. That's just my take on why I think it's going to be, one, the biggest PLE of the entire year, and also one of the biggest PLEs of the recent years that we've had for the WWE. And everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether on YouTube or Spotify. And just, I appreciate even if it's one of you tuning in and just making it this far, just listening to me talk about wrestling. That's awesome, man. I'm so glad to be just, I love talking about the shows. I love talking, giving takes and everything, and it's a lot of fun for me. So if you want to, drop a like, comment, give me your predictions, subscribe, follow wherever you're listening to, Spotify or YouTube, or you're seeing my shorts on TikTok. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And SummerSlam is upon us. New Jersey, stand up. Let's get some pork roll. Let's get some friggin' pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwiches. Let's go. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in as always. And I will see you after SummerSlam.